Oh my goodness, how am I going to remember that? That's a lot of stuff to remember. Once we have these C's, we can use them to find all the rest of these notes. And these C's are in fact so important that I want to give you a tip about this C here refers to this C here, middle C. Let's talk now about how each piano key is notated in written music. So we have here the view with which you will be confronted often if you are reading music at the piano. This upper staff here is for the right hand, and this lower staff is for the left hand, because of course these are the higher notes and these are the lower notes. This symbol here is called a treble clef. This is called a bass clef. The specifics of that won't interest us here. What we want to know is this note here. What is that? That is called middle C, because it is exactly in the middle between these two staves, right? And it turns out it is also the C most near the middle of your piano. And if we know where that is, we can figure out all the rest of the notes. So if this is a C, the note right above that must be a D, which would be notated right here. And this would be an E, an F, we're just going up the alphabet, G, A, B, C, D, E, F, G. Now at this point I need a little bit of help. This little line is called the ledger line. That's an A, B, this would be notated above the ledger line, and then finally a C. The same thing goes if we want to notate the notes in this staff here. So we have a C, below that we see here would be a B, an A, G, I'm just going down the alphabet, F, E, D, C. And we continue, B, A, G, F, E. Now we need a line note, so we're going to use a little help. It's called the ledger line again. And that is a D, and that is a C. So if you're anything like me, you might at this point think, oh my goodness, how am I going to remember that? That's a lot of stuff to remember. And here's what I'd like to tell you. Don't try to remember it right now. The important thing are the C's that we found. This was a C, this was a C, this was a C, these are the C's. Let me notate all of these C's here. This was middle C, this was a C, and this was a C. And what do we see here? In fact, these C's are symmetrical. In other words, I could have turned this upside down and you would have the same picture. Right here on the second line we have a C, and on the top we have a C, and in the middle, of course, looks the same. So the fact that these are symmetrical lets us remember them with less effort, right? Once you've remembered the top, you've also automatically remembered the bottom. So once we have these C's, we can use them to find all the rest of these notes. And these C's are in fact so important that I want to give you a tip about how to remember specifically where these C's are. So let's say that there was a king long ago in the Middle Ages. So since I said the word middle, I'm going to look for the middle line here and draw that there. And in the middle of the king's grand land, so since I said middle again, I'm going to draw here on that middle line, the king built a castle. That here is supposed to be a castle. And right in the middle of this castle, the king put some treasure. And since the treasure was so beautiful and everybody wanted to see it, everybody came from all different directions They knocked here at the door, and they knocked here at the door to the castle because they really, really wanted to see the treasure. But the people in the castle thought, oh, every day these people knocking all the time, I can't take it anymore. Let's build a moat so that they can't come across, or a river. So, how many banks does a river have? A river has 2 banks. 1, 2. And so this time when the people came, they realized, oh, we can't go across the river. We wanted to see this nice treasure, but since there's a river here, we can't cross it. But we've been traveling so far that our feet are all stinky. So we're going to put them in the river to clean them. You see that these people are halfway in the river. Same thing here at the bottom. So now you see that this story gives you a way of remembering where all of these C's are. Now, you might have heard before that it is important to remember your treble clef and your bass clef. That is, to try to remember and memorize that this is an E and this is a B and this is a D, etc. Or here in the bass clef, that this is an A and this is a G and this is a C, etc. And it is true that it is helpful to know the names of your notes. But at the beginning, the most important thing is to have the C's as your point of reference. You can remember this as treasure C, and these are the knocking C's, and these are the river C's. And you can also use this picture here to realize that these 2 clefs taken together just form a continuous map of the piano keys. A nice way of seeing that musical notation is just a map of the white keys of the piano keyboard is to turn the picture that we just made on its side so that the high notes are going off to the right and the low notes are going off to the left, and then blow that up a few times, complete with shiny feet heading directly for the rivers. And we can see that every single one of these lines or spaces refers exactly to one of the white keys on the piano. For example, this C here refers to this C here, middle C. This C is this C, this C is this C, this is here, and this is here. The same is true, of course, not only for the C's, but of any of these lines and spaces. Let's say this line here. Whatever note name that might refer to, we can see that this line refers exactly to this key on the piano keyboard. Now you might ask yourself, if this is a mapping, a one-to-one mapping from the musical notation to the white keys of the piano keyboard, then how do we get to the black keys at all? And we use the sharps and flats to do exactly that. And I'll show you how. Let's say we had this note here. In other words, a C with a sharp in front of it. Then instead of referring to this note here, it referred to this one here, C sharp, indeed a black key. Or if we had this note here, which would normally be a D, right here. If we had a flat in front of it, then since a flat just sends us off to the left, then instead of a D, we would have a D flat. So using sharps and flats, we can get to all of the piano keys through musical notation.